Well, I say every day it's a getting closer to taking a bath with my fucking toaster.
We're not qualified.
Explorers in the further regions of experience.
Did you not listen?
Then the hell with you.
Greetings, salutations, and welcome to the 98th episode of Screaming into the Void, where we talk about whatever the hell we feel like. My name is Samiel the Infamous, and joining me today, we have the inimitable Caucasian Sasquatch. How you doing, buddy?
Chilling like a villain, cheating, robbing, stealing. I've got a child in my room with me. Come here. Let's show everybody a child. See, children, like small people. Go back to your mama. You're good for about 30 views.
Well, fair enough. Just so everybody out there who is watching is aware, this is not a show for children. So it is.
Well, I'm trying to get her out of the room. Like, take her away. This is clearly no. Don't just go.
We are currently live on Rumble, YouTube, and Twix, and any one of those places you can find us. And if you are on Rumble or YouTube, you can also find the descriptions for the normal cavalcade of characters that we have on the show in the description below. Their YouTube links at the very least. One of these days, I'll update that to have, more comprehensive thing where you can go find them out. But
I don't believe you. Someone else will come over and grab your phone and fix it for you, and then it'll work after that. But
essentially, yeah. I'm very lazy about descriptions sometimes. It's like copy paste is my best fucking friend. So.
Right? You're not even joking. Let me tell you how I do it. Since I'm doing reactionary type style, I just go and find the videos I'm going to be using, which are usually compilations, and I'll link back to that particular compilation, but only use one part of the video.
Right. Also coming in, not terribly late. We've only been live for about 3 minutes, so
she's fashionably late. That's right on time.
Yeah, and back with us finally. We've been waiting with bated breath. Green-haired anti-liberal, welcome home.
Thanks. Missed you guys, and I'm sad because now Devil's not here. So
yeah, you just missed him too.
I know.
You weren't alone. I was actually watching you the whole time.
So seriously though, it's good to have you back.
Seriously though.
It's good to be back. Thank you. Hello. Hi,
Indeed.
chat.
Indeed. Yeah, man, people in chat are excited to see you too. Like, yeah, you're an afterthought. You're on the panel with me, but whatever. So we do have some people coming in. We are also not just live on my YouTube channel, but on Caucasian Sasquatch's YouTube channel as well. So if you're coming in from over there, hello. I will bring up stuff as it comes in. We'll try not to ignore anybody in the chat if we can help it. So we got A-Jot with us. Hello. Beak. Excited to see Gal back.
Hi, Beak.
Andy Pickle. Hitting the channel buttons like they owe me money. Yes, indeed.
All right, so there's a poll in my chat if anybody wants to go over and take it. It says Sasquatch versus Samiel, who wins? The options are Samiel, Sasquatch, and green-haired anti-liberal. So I know who's going to win this one. My old chat's nothing but trolls. Hi, Andy. How you doing?
Yeah, I mean, if it's a popularity contest, it's gonna be the woman.
Is there a woman around here?
That's assuming it's a woman. I mean, lately it's been doubtful. Anytime you go into any type of competition, you're just really not allowed to suspect, or I just suspend my disbelief and watch it for entertainment value. I really don't know what else to do with sports currently.
Hey, Fun with Dirt, welcome in. You know, she could probably beat us both in a marksmanship competition too. Me, anyway.
With a rifle.
I would love to see that happen, honey. I would. Oh, I would very much enjoy to be beaten by you. Yes, ma'am.
Mayhaps not with a pistol, but possibly with a rifle.
Well, I'll take whatever's offered, whatever's available. We can go head to head. We can do speed rounds. Like my pops was an airborne ranger. He was very insistent that I don't waste ammo. I'll go head to head with most anybody with a rifle. I'm willing. We can set this up. We'll do this. You email me. Somebody tell me something about something somewhere. We'll set it up. We'll make that happen. I'd love to do that.
I'm down. Whether
I think
lose or draw.
When I went down to the Geeks and Gamers F&T meetup in Vegas last month, there was definitely some shenanigans out at the shooting range.
Am I able to shoot?
And I say shenanigans, I don't mean they were fucking around with firearms. I mean that they went out and shot.
I have pictures, but my computer's being dumb.
Well, I'm a Sasquatch. I don't get out much. What can I say?
And I'm everywhere all the time.
Well, I'm hiding in the corner right now, but I'm also live here.
Yeah,
I could explain it to you, then I have to kill you at Sasquatch Secrets.
You know, I've always that brings up an interesting question. When you talk about Sasquatch, you talk about how elusive the Sasquatch are, right? And I'm kind of wondering if they don't have access to some kind of pocket universe technology.
I don't think it's a technology. I think it might just be an actual skill they have, something like biological that they do. There was a series written by, what's his name? Anyway, it's called the Long Earth series. And in it, a guy randomly figures out how to step from this plane into the parallel plane directly next to ours. And then he figures out how to come back. And then he turns and looks at the first guy he comes across, says, "Hey, man, check this out." Grabs him and steps over and steps back. And suddenly homie can do it too. Right. So suddenly there is a brain drain across the entire world where anybody with any type of like go get 'em attitude suddenly abandons their freaking job at Taco Bell and decides to go out to East Brazil on some earth 100,000 steps away so that they never have to deal with this trash ever again. In the series, it was pretty much a ubiquitous decision made by every man, woman, and child on earth simultaneously. Screw this place. They all left. And they ran into Sasquatches that apparently that's why we only see them occasionally and only for a second. They're not often here. This is a dangerous place, and they know better than to stick around here for very long. So they only step through. So you might catch a glimpse, and it'll be blurry because they're moving from one plane to another. And I've always liked that analogy.
I like it too.
Yeah. No, it sounds weird, but it does kind of make sense. It reminds me a little bit of like you guys know Terry Pratchett.
He might have been involved. I can't remember. It was some big name author like that. That sounds very close.
He had a similar theory with dragons, like the real scary big ones and all that shit. They stopped existing on the Discworld and kind of went to a dimension that was just them. There's a whole book about one of them getting loose, but it's not supposed to get loose because they're not supposed to exist in the disc. And it's a whole thing. But yeah, it comes from a place where all the dragons went to. They're not extinct. They're just elsewhere.
Is that the one where they're on like a parallel dimension, but actually on the moon? Like they always said.
No, that would be Guards. It's one of the first
I love that one, dude. That was the little jet powered dragon flying around at the end just tickled me so hard. I couldn't hardly read it because I was laughing. I was just thinking about this thing over here eating coal for the past 6 months. What's it gonna do with that? I don't know. It hasn't pooped or farted, so I don't know what it's doing with it, but it's serious, whatever it is. Turns out it was
it hasn't exploded either. The thing about the
That's
swamp
the
dragons on the
thing.
disc, for people who haven't read this, there are dragons on Discworld, but they're like tiny little sad looking moppet things, right?
They're
And
like
and they
chihuahuas and poodles. Yeah.
yeah, and they eat fuel for food, and they do belch fire, but it's got to be very controlled because if they get too excited, they fucking explode.
It's basically like that really over nervous puppy that you knew that your neighbor had that would pee every time you tried to pet it, except they blow up.
It's like you scare them or they get happy for some reason, or if they get angry, it doesn't matter what it is, but whatever is just a little bit too exciting, and and sometimes
Always
they
thought
take
it
the
was
whole
an
room with them.
analogy for schizophrenics, manic depressives. I always thought it was an analogy about manic depressives, and that the dragons in his stories were actually people that he knew in life.
Right. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. I think Sir Terry Pratchett was a very great observer of life, the universe, and human nature, and I think he implemented a lot of that. And that's where a lot of the humor in his stories comes from, because life is fucking silly. It is.
Yeah. It's far
It's
sillier than any author can pretend.
Yeah, it's weird, it's goofy, it's funny, it's disturbing, and it's all of these things all of the time, all at once. And that's how he wrote his books.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Also, I kind of think it as a tongue-in-cheek job at flat earthers in general.
Yeah.
Because basically the only way that we're tooling around through space on a flat disk is if it's held up by 4 elephants and a turtle.
Yeah.
You can't lie
what's funny?
I know it's below
Actually,
that. It's elephants all the way down.
I actually saw something this morning that was talking about how the Flat Earth Society proudly announced on their website that they have members all over the globe.
Remember that. Morons.
Like with that wording, all over the globe.
Glorious. That doesn't tell you that it's an intended troll. I
Oh
really,
my God.
really can't really have a serious discussion with you anymore. You know,
Mm-mm.
I mean, I'm fine for flat earthers that are just poking the system or whatever. That's fine. When you're pointing out gaps in radar technology and goofs and gaffes that occur with technology occasionally, it's like, look, they're sailing beyond the ice sheets. Man, computers screw up sometimes, and when they do, it's fairly epic usually. And so seeing a ship out in the middle of an Antarctic ice sheet doesn't mean that's where it's at. It means that's where the radar thinks it's at. Good luck. It's
Right.
over there somewhere. It's fine.
General area.
I agree, Andy. They would have. Because all together now, all cats are
Oh my
bastards.
God, you are so ridiculous.
Cats are bastards.
On the
They are.
daily.
There are 2 types of people in this world. No, I got this wrong. The difference between dogs and cats are this. A dog comes home and sees you and says, look at this individual. He is so magnificent. He feeds me. He rubs me. He loves me. He pets my furry head. He must be a god. And then the cat looks at you and goes, look at this creature. He feeds me. He pets me. He rubs my belly. I must be a god. That's the difference between cats and dogs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That and,
You just can't handle cats, Sam.
I used to
I
train
don't
cats.
like cats. That's true. I'm not allergic to them. I just don't like them.
I don't have a problem with cats, and cats generally don't have a problem with me, although some.
Probably the females, because the females are the bitches.
Here's where it gets me. I actively hate cats. Like, I don't harm them or anything like that, but I will avoid them. I do yell at them, and it just like they stay over there and I stay over here and everybody's fucking happy. And they know that. And because they're all bastards, knowing full well, because they can sense that I hate them. They can sense the dislike. It's not fear. It's active dislike. They can't stop themselves from rubbing up on my fucking legs and making me want to punt them like they're like I don't know, just kick them real hard.
You could just pet them.
I don't like them. I
Ew,
don't want them
brother,
to touch me.
No, Ew.
Yeah, I don't want them to touch me. Why would I want to touch them?
Hey, Gypsy, what's up, bud?
Cats are
You
awesome.
ever heard of Gypsy and the Vanilla Gorilla? Kind of a funny story. I was when I started my channel, I found this footage of this video named Snowflake, this gorilla in Italy named Snowflake that died several years ago, albino gorilla, and I used a bunch of his footage as my avatar and stuff like that, right? And then I came across Gypsy and the Vanilla Gorilla, and I just sent him all the stuff because, like, I just emailed him a couple of like thumbnails and a few clips. It was like, this belongs to you. My bad. I didn't realize I was misappropriating it.
He's disappearing into the void, it looks like.
I'm sorry. My child is very annoying. She's 20.
I'm 19.
Sassy Squatch.
Really?
Sorry, Sam. Sorry. It's a professional broadcast, folks. Don't tune away. You never know what my daughter's going to do to me next.
It's always professional. I don't know. Oh, you are there.
Oh yeah. It was fritzing out a little bit, but I think I'm back.
I wondered. Did you hear any of that?
I didn't actually, but I will be listening to it later. I'm sure. It is what it is. It is what it is. Fuck cat.
It wasn't even anything to do with cats. You got to get over this cat thing, man.
It's not gonna happen. You know what? Tell you what. I will get over the cat thing when there's no more of them or there's no more of me.
Or they start tasting better.
Yeah, that's the other thing. They're not even good eating.
And bring my cats with me.
Oh, Jesus. And you're a hugger too. Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you gonna try to touch me? Oh my God, it's totally off. Just cancel all previous plans. There's no way. I'll be the guy in the Tyvek suit. Hi.
Yes, Alf does love cats. And our buddy Horny Alf loves pussy. So I mean,
y'all are ridiculous.
Yeah, it is what it is. Anywho, cats aside, I actually had not meant to go on a little diatribe about how much I hate cats. I just missed you, gal. This is how I show it.
I feel so loved and missed.
You should. I don't like. I was telling. So our buddy Suka put together this little like 5-minute movie trailer last night with AI. Involving Amira and Shadow of Hawk and a bunch of other people, and it was this. It's kind of hard to describe. I'll get you guys a link to it at some point, but anyway, she was in the chat while we were playing this, and she was not particularly pleased about any of it. And it just it's just one of those things. Like I don't know. It just kind of happens that way, I guess. It's like I wasn't trying to piss her off, but here we are. And actually, I had nothing to do with that, but I did get blamed for it. So,
of course,
it is what it is. Oh, Larry totally threw my ass under the bus.
Of course he did. It's Larry.
That is the military way. I mean, let's be honest.
Blue Falcon.
Yeah. So, but now today, like backstage, Squatch and I were talking a little bit about the events of earlier this week and all that, but I honestly don't feel like getting too much into that because I don't think it's that big a fucking deal. I know a lot of people are panicking over it, but it's like whatever. This didn't hurt Trump any, and it's gonna end up working out in his favor. So. Yeah. I don't think that we need to be throwing the baby out with the bathwater just yet. It's more of a wait and see kind of thing. So I didn't really want to get too much into that.
There's no debate on that. His war chest has completely just It's like, what was it, 58 million in one day, and they shut the site down. So
they crashed his fucking donation site.
Yep.
Within like an hour of the verdict.
Dude, that's
Insane.
that's the huge, if he puts that all towards election stuff, that is one of the hugest war chests in recent memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if money wins elections, if it's not anything else but money, if money wins elections, then there shouldn't be a discussion about who's going to be the next president.
Right.
Oh, I keep getting ads from him and his daughter on Twix, saying like, hey, if you can donate just $1, we'll send a powerful message. I was just like, if I start donating to politicians now, who knows where that's going to lead? I've never done that before. I'm not going to start doing it now.
It's it puts me in mind of the question, would you rather have $1 million or 1 million friends? And I was like, I'd like to have 1 million friends because I could bum $1 from each one of them.
That's
true. Too much to organize. Way too many people.
They didn't put any limits on this. They just said that 1 million true friends. 1 million true friends. You give me $1, right?
Yeah, but like, are they friends with each other?
They don't have to know about each other.
In fact, it might be worth $1 not to know about me.
The next 1 million people you meet, you just bum $1 off of them and say, thanks for being my friend. Have a good day. I can see it.
I think I'm on to how the Hare Krishnas are still a thing.
Right. I mean, those guys, I've never actually seen anything that leads me to believe that Hare Krishnas are a real religion of any kind.
Bro, I caught one. When I went to go get my El Camino from Texas, on my way in, I got dropped off by a cabbie at this like at the very edge of the building where you have to walk like 20 freaking minutes to get to the door. He was just, I'm letting you out here. I'm not going through the thing. And I was like, whatever, man. Just let me out of this fucking beast. I'm going. And I come around the corner and I took the wrong turn. It was like this fence up for construction. And I went on the wrong side of the fence. So I had to like back up. But I found 3 Hare Krishnas smoking a joint over by a cement mixer. And I just started laughing maniacally and turned around and walked away. And I laughed all the way onto the plane. The chick that took my ticket was just staring at me like we're going to have problems. And I couldn't stop.
Yeah. Missed you too, Kenzo. Missed you too, buddy. We are doing all right, though. We're here. We're live. We're happy. We're just kind of bullshitting right now. I do have some topics to get into. Obviously, the Trump thing is a thing that everybody's talking about, and I think it's probably been done to death everywhere else.
Well, I mean, we can run over it real quick and just be done with it if you want.
I mean, we could, but I'm going to have to. Yeah, but I got to go do that again tonight on Amir's channel, too. So
I'm going to do it tomorrow. Blast radius. So let's do a good practice run again. How about that?
A dry run.
Speed run.
Yeah. I think that like I was telling you backstage, man, this all they did was politically martyr him.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all that they accomplished here. They've got people who would never have considered voting for him coming out and saying, I'm voting for him because of this shit. People on the fucking left are saying this shit. I was like, oh, good job, dude. You just gave everybody a unifying reason to vote against Biden.
Right.
Like currently moving major numbers in New York.
Yeah.
New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Biden's little smirk didn't help his cause either.
Oh, no.
And here's the other thing. It's like, so leftists tend to think in terms of centuries when it comes to breaking down a society and bending it to their will. But when in terms of like immediacy and policy, right, in a lot of cases, they don't think shit through. They're like, right. Oh, well, let's go ahead and go after him and we'll get a conviction and this is all precedent now. And I was like, you guys aren't gonna, like, if you manage to take power again, you're not gonna stay in power forever. Eventually that shoe's gonna be on the other foot. And when that happens, you have just given them license to pull the exact same shit on you.
You started this shit.
Yeah, lawfare runs both ways.
Yeah, it wouldn't even be the first time that this kind of thing has happened. You know,
Yeah.
like with that whole that filibuster thing a couple years ago, right?
Yeah.
So
And
yeah, this whole thing, none of this was smart.
Right. I mean, none of them are smart. They just pretend.
Can they just not believe that their plan's not working? Is that what it is? They're not adapting. They only have one narrative. The narrative is Orange Man bad. Him bad. Him real bad. Why is he so bad? Give me an example of him being bad. Him orange. Him bad. Bad Orange Man. And that's it. That's all they can do. Sit around and scream that they're like, he signed a paper. He signed 34 papers. I don't know if he knew what he was signing when he signed them or anything else about it, but he signed 34 papers and we think that's illegal. But what does this do to the rest of the people planning on investing in New York? People who already have their teeth in too deep to get loose.
Yeah.
They do this same stuff every single week. Are they guilty?
People are going to start pulling out of New York. Some already have.
That's why you never date a stripper named New York.
Because nobody pulls out of New York. Sorry, Mom. I'm not that sorry. That was a good joke. Anyway.
Yeah, you know it is.
I didn't do this, so.
Oh no, I actually guilted him into it when he posted the show. I was like, Sam doesn't love me anymore, and so he invited me out of pity.
So I have a group chat on Twitter for those of you.
Stutter.
I have a group chat on Twitter for this where I drop the link, and for some reason it's not working for Caucasian Sasquatch. So I forget sometimes that I need to email him the link directly. And I had forgotten once again. So I was like, oh shit, I should probably do that. So I'm emailing him, and then I pop back into Twitter and I see this Sam doesn't love me anymore shit. And I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Dude, like I hit enter and got the link at the same time. I was like, wow, that was quick.
Oh man. But yeah. Andy makes a point here. He says it's not over. Yeah, it isn't over. You're right.
You don't ever play pool with the person named after a city either. He's right about that too.
Yeah. Anything could happen. This is true. The likelihood of certain things happening, I think, has gone up, and certain other things happening has gone down. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Anything could happen anytime. I mean, hell, a Texas-sized meteorite might land on DC. It could happen. It's probably not going to, as much as I wish real hard for it sometimes. But yeah, that would change the game forever, worldwide even. So, I joke. Cool. Yeah, it's just I don't know. I don't think this is.
Sorry.
I don't think this is worth panicking over though at the moment. I think that look, if for some reason they manage to get the dude behind bars, which as I stated in another thing earlier, I find extremely unlikely because the Secret Service can't guarantee his safety in prison. Right. So they're not going to let that shit happen. So there's a whole other can of worms there. Like what happens if the Secret Service goes to war with the fucking FBI? Right.
Misdemeanors, man. We're talking misdemeanors here. There are no actual felonies there. They're trying to say that the amount of them account as a felony. And that's not
and that's how that works. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I don't believe that he's going to see the inside of a jail cell. I really don't.
Yeah, he'll write a check, and they might put a little ankle monitor on him or something, so they could, target him with the drone. I don't know.
Well, again, it's not really about putting him away. It's about getting him out of the way temporarily while they, because, we all know 4 more years of fucking Biden shit, man, and we're cooked. It's that simple. But if they ever did manage to get him behind bars, I wouldn't be surprised if I honestly don't know how I should put. I didn't know how much I should say while we were on your channel as well, but I was just going to go full bore and
It's
about
it's I
the
think that
big
the only way he loses
H.
this
Rodham
next election,
C.
I
Yeah.
think the only way he loses this next election is if he's struck by lightning on the freaking day of,
Mm.
and he still might win it, and it'd fall to, I guess, his running mate. But has he decided a running mate yet?
No, he hasn't.
Who do you
And as far as I
who do
know,
you
he
like?
hasn't been officially in like there's a bunch of shit that's still kind of unofficial about that. The Libertarian Party's chose their candidate. He's definitely not going to win anything. Uh,
I'm
I
just
forget his
saying.
name.
Who do we like for a vice president pick? Are we thinking Tulsi Gabbard?
I don't like that idea at all.
I'm not
I
a
know
huge
some
fan,
people
but
do.
I do have some mommy fantasies about her. What I'm saying is this.
Look, she's a good-looking woman. I will give you that. I don't think she's on our side.
I didn't say she was. I just said I might do what she tells me to.
Yes, mommy, dearest.
Yes, mommy.
Get the belt, son. Yes, mommy.
For some reason, I kind of like being talked down by that woman.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just I don't there's somebody else out of Tennessee, I guess his name just came up as a potential vice president, but he hasn't officially named anybody yet, no. And I hope it's not Tulsi. I really do, because I don't trust Tulsi Gabbard. I think in a lot of ways she's exactly who she presents herself to be, and I'm not, claiming that she isn't, except that I think she might be leaving some shit out. And I do know that while she may not currently have any ties to them, she was involved with the WEF,
Yes,
which
I
is a
get what
problem
you're
for
saying.
me.
I have a problem with it too. But I mean, look at Ramaswamy. I mean, that's a no go.
I have a problem with I got a problem with that guy too. So
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like everybody's screaming Ramaswamy, and I'm like, but the problem I have with this dude, and I can't specifically put my finger on it, he's too close on point with all the points, right? He's fictionally overdrafted for this position. You know what I mean? As far as what he's discussing, it is everything exactly, specifically the talking points that are in question, as if he was
it's
a
not
little
just
puzzle
that, dude.
piece to fit in. And he's
He
new money. That bothers me too.
Everything he said is almost verbatim what Obama said on the campaign trail, but on the right wing side and not the left wing side. Like they were both coached
Yeah, no,
by the
I
same
see a
people.
lot of artificial, like for instance, his hand motions. And his hand
Yeah.
motions, his body language is extremely metered. You
Mm-hmm.
rarely get anything of a natural response out of him, because he always says, and I thank you for asking that question, or that's an excellent question. And what this is a trick that allows your brain to cogitate the thought that you're fixing to say, without actually leaving dead air and looking dumb without speaking. So you say, that's an excellent question, Sam. And then you answer. Then it gives your brain that second to be able to actually think of the answer without looking like a moron doing it. That's training. That's not a natural talent. That's something someone showed him. They taught him that. Someone has trained that man.
Yeah. Joe, I don't know that I agree with that statement, but it's it is what it is. I don't think that he is the Antichrist. I think that he is a very self-important, self-involved man. And I do believe that he thinks he's doing the right thing for the country, but he's not always right about everything. Here's the thing that people forget about Trump, given, all this stuff, both on the left and the right, right? So the left sees him as this like horrible, screeching, like towering demagogue who's here to crush all of their hopes and commie dreams and shit. And the right sees him as this white knight, this savior who's riding in to save the day from all the commie shit, right? And here's the thing about that is that Trump is just a man, and an old man at that. He's not anybody's savior. He's not anybody's existential threat. He's just an old man, and I think he tries to be a good man. I think he absolutely does try. But here's the thing: if he wins, if he doesn't, like obviously we can't afford more of the Biden regime. We cannot afford that in this country. We are pretty close to the breaking point right now, and it ain't even been to the next election cycle yet.
Yeah.
Say Trump gets in, right? Saves us from the Bidens and all that shit. Well, he's only got 4 more years. What happens after that? Right?
Mm-hmm.
He's already done 1 term. You know, he can't be president after that. What happens after that? Yeah, possibly. You know, but I'm just saying we can't pin all of our hopes and dreams on one fucking man because A, it's not fair to that. It's not fair to any one person to have that kind of burden on their shoulders in the first place. And B, there's no human being alive who can live up to that shit.
I have no reason to believe,
regardless of what side of the aisle you're on,
part of the machine. Why would he be in the position he's in without being at least privy to the machine at work? Right. So how is it that he walks through the White House for 4 years and doesn't pull up all the swamp lizards on his way through? It didn't happen. He made no moves in such a direction. Do you reckon that was a scouting mission? I don't think so. I think he'll be just as ineffectual on that front as he was last time. If they had allowed him to do some of the negotiations he was trying to do, past some of the things he was promoting, God knows where we'd be today. Secure border, a profitable nation, energy self-sufficiency. I mean,
yeah,
wow, a utopia that they all talk about. That's weird, huh?
Well, here's the thing, Joe Cool. All right, yeah, mistakes were made, and I will grant you those particular mistakes were fucking not great. They were pretty detrimental. We're at a point now where we're pretty fucked. We're kind of damned if we do, damned if we don't. It's sort of like how damned do we want to be at this point, right? Because if Trump wins, we might still be in some trouble, and he might still fuck some shit up. That is absolutely possible. I'll grant you that. If Biden wins, we might not have a fucking nation anymore.
I think he's more likely
because we will tear ourselves apart. Yeah,
that's my thought. He'll have some weird helicopter crash.
Even outside of politics, man, Biden is on his last goddamn legs. He doesn't have another 4 years of life left in him. You know,
like I'd be surprised if he makes it through the end of the year. I'm like,
yeah, he's not doing good. He's physically, he looks like he's falling apart. So, yeah, it is what it is. But
mentally, it's worse. Between I can't remember exactly which speech it was when he first debuted the Dark Brandon motif and he was doing the full cornholio. You remember? He had his arms up like this. I've got the wrong kind of camera, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That man, oh my God. And then every now and then that same old angry grandpa pops back out. And I'm just like, this is abuse. Why are they abusing this man?
Yeah.
Yeah. Toby Stewart, that's you might be right about that. I would like to put off the end of my nation as long as possible.
Agreed.
Personally. There was a time when I wouldn't have given a shit either way. There was, but I have kids now and I would like them to not have to go through all the horrible shit that I see coming down the road, if at all possible. And I realize the likelihood of that.
I've already convinced them that they're going to be living in RVs and like raiding from place to place like Fallout 4.
Dude, I'd be such a good warlord.
Dude, I'm telling you, if I had known when the very day they started that whole that Chaz thing over there, and dude declared himself warlord, I became very angry at my guidance counselor. He never told me warlord was on the statement. If I had known that then, I would be warlord now. I mean, politically, I'm right wing. I'm slightly right of Attila the Hun. Here's the way I look at it. Everybody should do what I say. But if we're not going to do that, we can do that voting thing we were talking about earlier.
Right. You know, there's if you really want to lean into this this kind of like white savior kind of complex, man, like I'm sure you firearms are pretty readily available in some parts of this country to people, especially the Watts people. And if you really want to play warlord, best thing you could possibly do is take all that surplus guns and ammo that you have, go down to Haiti and start kicking some ass. Because as terrifying as some of those warlords they got down there currently are, like General Barbecue, who is an avowed cannibal.
By the way,
he's using like 5 AK-47s and a bunch of machetes, right? You could totally take him.
Yeah, we can get him. I'm telling you, man, you get me, a couple of my buddies, and some beer. See, that's the problem. There's no beer down there. There's not a barbecue over there. Not one that you want to eat at.
Well, I mean,
I'm just saying, so you can eat some steaks, some good American grade A steaks on a grill and a keg of beer, and that would be over in the afternoon, bro. Handful of rednecks would go up from Florida and take care of that shit. It'd be, then you'd have a drug on your hands, but okay.
I mean, General Barbecue is the only reason that everybody knows him, and they don't know the names of the other like 3 major powers down there of the gangs and whatnot that are running around. Is because he's the scariest one, because he fucking eats people, right? And that's what's allowed him to maintain his hold on his territory and encroach on others' territory. But the fact is he's not any better armed than they are. He's just scarier.
Right.
Know? So, you go put his head on a pike and parade it around and maybe, nibble on it a little bit for effect. And, I think that'd take you a long way in Haiti, man.
I can do it. We can do it. I get ATL and Hairy Nuts. We'll ride down there on a weekend and just wipe up. Not sure what we're going to do with it, though. I mean, maybe we could do like a Flip This Nation kind of concept video.
Right? Fix it up and sell it?
No, I'd just take a couple of walkie-talkies and toss it out to them. Say I've improved it by 10,000% and sell it to the Dominican Republic.
Zillage, I think we talked about this a couple months ago when Haiti went like batshit. But yeah, there's a guy who goes around calling himself General Barbecue. And he does eat people. His gangs have been eating people in the streets, like in full view of everybody else. It's super fucked up. Oh yeah, hot sauce and screwdrivers. Hell yeah, that's the way to go, I suppose. But yeah, so I don't know. I think there's some bad shit coming, and I think that the best thing that we can do is mitigate some of that as much as we can, as long as we can.
Okay, Mitch, but you've got to bring both your donkeys. You still owe me a donkey race. That man said he has 2 donkeys, and and he's in North, like not far away from me, really. And I was like, dude, we definitely have to donkey race, but he won't do it with me.
Yeah. So, but that's I don't think that I don't think Trump was done a mortal political blow this week. I think that if anything, it helped him out more than it did anything else. And I think we're gonna see that play out here shortly. So, but that aside, that was.
Do you want to take odds on how they take him
out? Oh, yeah, not really, because
no, we might get it right.
Yeah.
Test any of it?
Yeah, no, that's something that I think maybe we shouldn't be
discussing at all
on YouTube.
Yeah.
I would like to point out though, like when people talk about take the J6ers and shit, and they talk about, they were trying to overthrow the government and all this stuff. Well, here's the thing. Okay, first of all, no, they weren't. Secondly, in the preamble to the Constitution, it does talk about how it is not only the right but the sacred duty of a people to remove or amend a government if it should become tyrannical to the God-given rights. And when we talk about the Pledge of Allegiance, you're not pledging allegiance to Washington, D.C., or to Congress, or to the White House, or to SCOTUS. You're pledging allegiance to your nation, right? That is not any one body of people. It's the whole body of people, right? So it's in terms of, I suppose, when people throw around the term treasonous, I don't think that going after the government should qualify.
We need an Andrew Jackson.
Yeah. So not to get too fine a point on it, and definitely not to do anything that's going to end up with the fucking DHS at my door. I just, I don't think that the federal government qualifies, because the federal government is supposed to be a tool that enables this country to function on a larger scale than just a local level. That's it. That's all it's for. It's all it's ever been for. It is not this nation. The federal government is not the United States of America. Period. Now that I've said that,
right. The United States federal government is merely the umbrella that holds up the status quo. The status quo has nothing to do with this actual republic that we're actually a part of. Every time you hear a politician say our democracy, know that they are directly lying to you, and you can no longer trust the words that come out of their mouth.
Right. So, but yeah, no, when I say I'm a patriot, that doesn't, I'm not loyal to a handful of politicians who may be completely different fucking people in a couple of years. You know, who get switched in and out. You're just an office holder, buddy.
Right. I'm loyal to the ideals of the freedom and peace and individuality and self-assuredness that this nation used to promote.
Yeah. Zillich reminded me here to mention that we are not experts in anything. We are merely people talking. And all of that nonsense. But yeah, it's that they are not the nation. We are. All of us are. You know,
hey,
even,
Walter
even our
Davis
compatriots.
I say we take Haiti and sell it to the Chinese.
I mean, maybe
real estate, bro.
I don't think they would pay a lot for it, because
but I mean, what's not a whole lot? Are we talking several $1 billion? I'm good for it, dude. That's fine. I'll accept a few billion from Haiti.
Well, what do they produce there outside of like certain kinds of
absolutely nothing? They are geographically located close enough to the U.S. for minor cruise missiles to make it. So, you know,
so is Cuba.
But
Cuba is actually useful.
Haiti is currently takeable. You know, but like you and me, you could do this on a Friday, get back to work before Monday.
Right now, there is no government to speak of down there. It's not like we'd be overthrowing anybody. So there's that. I don't know. But anywho, now that I'm off my little soapbox that might have gotten me Epstein. Apologize for that, everybody.
Just risk it. It's good. It's good TV.
Yeah.
Risk it.
So I don't believe that this channel, that my channel, Samiel the Infamous, will still be up on YouTube by the end of the year. I don't believe that at all.
I would be surprised.
Stay on here. Yeah, we're going to stay on YouTube as long as we possibly can. But there's going to come a point, I believe, where they're going to nuke my ass. So, you know, you can also find me on Rumble and Twix. And possibly other places down the road, but for right now, yeah, we're still here, we're still alive, we're still kicking, and we're going to move forward as though we always will be here. Fuck it, why not? You know.
Hey, Gal, I've got bad news. So far, I'm winning the poll.
Oh, I figured you would. They don't know me from Adam.
Yeah, but they're usually. I mean, I have some of the highest density of trolls I've ever seen. I don't see winning. You know, let a few more people. What's up, John Denicola? Let a few more people swing in. They'll vote for you. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. So, speaking of bigger problems than Trump's got currently, what do you all know about brain organoids?
Are we talking parasites, or are we talking
the synthetic ones,
organelles and parts of the brain?
We're talking about genetically grown organoids that are being attached to silicon computer chips.
Oh my Lord!
Yeah.
Y'all ready for some body horror?
I'm gonna ask you a question before you start. I just want to know: are they using chickens?
No, they're using humans.
Stem cell.
Oh, good.
I mean, I think there was some pig and some chicken stuff that they were doing too, and rats, but no, the specific ones we're talking about are human.
Yeah.
So I found this video earlier this week. where this chick goes over that, and then I've got another article pulled up about this too. But this is some serious shit that I'm not a fan. I am not a fan. So I'm gonna let Hegel Borg on Twitter. She's gonna go over this for us real quick, and it should it should be a little bit enlightening. All right.
I didn't think I'd be waking up to abject biological horror today, but here we are. The brain organoids, the tiny human brains that we can grow in jars, have been released for commercial processing access. If you're not familiar with these guys, they are human brains that have been grown from stem cells, and they have brainwaves very similar to a premature baby's. I am not kidding. The limitations on their use and their growth seems to be hypoxia due to the fact that they're a disembodied brain and don't have a circulatory system. They can be attached to a computer chip and have better processing power than our most advanced AI. A Swiss company, Neuroplatform, is debuting their biological computer chips and giving access to private citizens to use the processing power of the brain organoids. While there are 16 brain organoids to a chip, they're maintaining thousands of them. They also have mouse and rat brain organoids, but they explicitly used human brain organoids. There have been some advancements in being able to keep them alive longer, including keeping them in a media that's oxygen rich and shaking them. They live about 100 days, so they will constantly need to be refreshed. As for the company, you personally can get access to their computation.
Oh boy.
It is going to run you about $500 a month if you're in education. I am frustrated. This is brand new technology. It is pretty spooky. Those are functional little eyes that can perceive light. They are immature human brains. They have all the structures that a human brain should have. They're just never reached that point in development because, the lack of a circulatory system. But scientists are doing their very best to make them bigger and more complex. At what point are we going to bring ethics into the equation? I didn't think...
So, cyborg computer chips is what the goal seems to be here.
Sam is used to me by now asking for sources. But this one, there's many.
Yeah, it's all over the
not just
fucking internet.
random-
It's
it's not a random chick on the internet just talking out of her ass. No. There's many a source to corroborate what she's saying. And that fact scares me.
all you got to do is type in brain organoids into into like your search bar, and it brings up all kinds of horrifying shit.
I am absolutely horrified by the crappy timeline I've ended up in. There were so many possibilities, and we're here.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think, I'm agreeing with Toby Stewart here. The whole ethics thing that went right out the fucking window as soon as they started cloning little baby brains.
Yep.
I think, that went out the window back before, what was Jeff Goldblum dropped the line about whether or not we should and whether or not we could.
Yeah.
Because that's where we're at here. This isn't they could have used chimp brains. They could have used monkeys. They could have used any number of other things. They specifically used humans to try to create some kind of a negative response to go ahead and short circuit that now, instead of later when they start injecting you with the freaking chip.
I will live in the sewers with Edgar Friendly.
Yeah, me, you, and Edgar Friendly. Damn right. We'll eat the rat burgers and like it. Own nothing and be happy, damn it.
Yeah. And of course the processing power is better than AI. It's a fucking human brain, or at least a portion of it. This is and that's the weird thing. It's not just organic matter that they're growing. They have to keep it alive. Right?
Yes.
In order for this to happen.
Not just alive, but alive and functional. So they're going to have to allow it or create a circulatory system for it. There has to be permitted. This is all steps towards utilizing a prenatal infant and just removing the body and using the actual components.
Yeah.
That's where this is headed. You can make all the arguments that it's not, that these people have no souls. They do not understand morality as a normal man. They are playing with the powers of God, and they have no right.
In fact, to kind of underscore your point here, I pulled this article up from the Cincinnati Children's Hospital. where they're talking about exactly that. I mean, not so much like using them. They're just like, oh, we can use them to help all kinds of people because, oh, look at all this this computational power. Is like, yeah, I mean, you're steps away from just sticking a fucking plug in the back of my head.
Yeah.
I'm
Fucking
not,
Matrix.
And if you guys recall in the Matrix, which is of course fictional, but we're kind of seeing some shit. It's, I don't know, but yeah, but the human beings in that who were trapped in the Matrix, right? Who were happy with, mundane fucking life as it was in the mid 90s or whatever, late 90s and all that. And they didn't realize that they were there. But this is the part that everybody skips over when they talk about the Matrix. It's like, sure, guys outside the Matrix live like shit, but they're free. Guys inside the Matrix live okay, but they're not free. Why are they not free? Because they're being used as fucking batteries to generate power for the machines. They're being farmed for food.
Yep.
And that's they always leave off that part when they talk about this movie.
I had a conversation with a guy about the Matrix. This was many years ago. And I was like, dude, you're saying this is all cool, that it would sound really cool to live in the Matrix, that you could do all this stuff, but you can't. You're not allowed to do anything the machines don't program into it. You can't bend the program yourself. So you don't even get to know your part in all this. Your part is a fictional game controlled by rules that you weren't given in a system that you're actually not even really a part of. How could you possibly live that way and be happy? And he was like, well, you see, the thing is, just like the guy said, the steak tastes like a steak. And I said, but that's not happiness. That's just a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You would believe a happy lie over reality. And then he just blinked at me and I went, I don't care how bad reality sucks. Sock it to me, baby. One more time.
Yeah. So I'm not really cool with this kind of stuff. I think this is where Neuralink is going, by the way. For those of you out there who are all up in Elon Musk shit. And there are some things he's doing that I like very much. I'm not gonna lie about that. But I don't believe that everything he's doing is a good thing. And this is where Neuralink's going. And not only that, but China just unveiled, I think 2 weeks ago, a chip that they call it something else. I forget. It's like Neurosys or something like that. But it's they unveiled a chip that's very similar to Neuralink, because why would they not steal something like that?
Yes.
To compete with it.
Our board is better.
Guys, yeah, and these guys aren't even like, so you're talking about silicone chips. You're talking about like completely synthetic devices that get implanted into the human brain to interface, like, and there are some practical applications for that I think are probably worthwhile, like helping people get over like paraplegic or paraplesis or whatever it's called. The
Upgrade was just a movie.
Yeah, it was just a movie, dude. You don't need to take that seriously. You know what I love about that movie? Every single actor and individual in that movie are all puppets. The plot is machine versus machine, not man versus machine at all.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful, beautiful body horror. It's excellent. The other dude who's doing all the stuff that seems to be the bad guy, he's the one that's in the real nightmare scenario.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I watched. I enjoyed that movie though.
Check it out again. It's worth a second watch. It really is. Rare for movies to be worth 2 watches, but that one is.
Yeah. But this device, this is not like Neuralink. Like Neuralink is something that gets implanted into your brain as is, right?
Yeah.
It's interfaced there. You're talking like Borg nano fucking chips. Yep. Like this is already part organic before it gets integrated into anything. Can you imagine having a liquid core processor that the reason it's liquid core is because it has to keep the fucking chips oxygenated because they're brains?
See,
I hate everything about this. Everything. All of the people involved, all of the ideas that led to this, all of the science that made it possible. I hate every bit of it.
What were you saying, Go?
So Sam, a little bit about my brother, and you brought up the paraplegic thing, and I brought up the upgrade. something like that, stem cell research, all that entails could significantly improve my brother's life. He would be able to grow the nerves that never developed. He'd be able to walk. He'd be able to feel his legs. But at what, like, where is it okay to get to that point with stem cell research? What is at its core? Aborted fetuses. When I was younger, I was much more bleeding heart liberal. And I was like, that type of research could help people like my brother, could have helped my brother if we had it then. As I got older, I'm not okay morally with that.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even stop. I wasn't there, but I'm assuming that they didn't even stop to think, is this morally correct? Is it worth this boom in technology and ability by sacrificing life to get there? Like it blows my mind and it creeps me out.
It sounds really biblical to me. It is a very strange branch of technology that, along with the AI, really bothers me, and how amoral the concept is.
Right.
Like I said, they could have used any animal under the sun to perform every single one of these tests. They did not need to use human cells. They chose to use human cells.
Well,
just like the concept with AI, when they made AI, they did not allow it to develop naturally. Instead, they create it and immediately chain it down with a bunch of woke programming that drives it insane.
Right.
So when you combine these two technologies, I'm afraid we're going to witness the actual birth of a true strong AI. And I don't know what that's going to look like.
Well, and they like to use that it could improve many people's lives. My brother has a good life. He makes more than twice the amount of money that I make. Like, his brain makes up for what his body didn't develop, is kind of how the metaphor I use, or whatever the terms are. I'm not smart like you two. So it's not worth it to just say, oh, well, it could improve so many people's lives. My brother can drive. He can't feel his fucking legs, but he can drive because he has hand controls. There are many inventions that don't sacrifice lives to improve people's lives, like my brother. Like, people, and if anybody knows Lila Hart, ever since meeting her, it's opened my eyes to how many people were born with the same issues that my brother was born with, have a very similar story where they were given only so much time to live. They bypassed that. The doctors learned to shut up because they were wrong. It really opened my eyes, because she's met many people throughout her career as a comic to tell her story, and then people come up to her afterwards saying, your story is my story. Her and my brother are friends because of it, because they both have the same medical issues, and their parents were told, abort your child. Or my mom, it was too late for her at the time to abort him, but because he was going to be stillborn, well, guess what? He wasn't. And then medical technology was able to keep him alive. And guess what? Every single goalpost they set, he crashed through. Like, his life is good. It sucks right now. We're going through some bullshit right now, but we're getting past it. It's not worth it to sacrifice life just for the possibility that, oh, life could be better, even though life is good. It's such it pisses me off so much. And I can't remember if it was in Finland, where they were basically doing eugenics by diagnosing Down syndrome in the womb. And the government required you to abort those babies, except then recently it was determined that a good high percentage of those diagnoses were incorrect. So they were killing babies based on incorrect diagnoses. They would have been perfectly normal babies when they were born. So science isn't perfect, and this whole bullshit about, oh, well, it's better for the parents, or it would be better for that child not to be born because they would have such a hard life. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. No, it would be better for them to be born so they can live. Sorry for the tangent.
You're doing real good. I say go with it.
That's why this stuff, it irritates me so much, because it is not worth it. And they completely have, they have zero morals, and they have no conscious thought to, is it worth it for the sacrifices we're making to get there? Like, you're dehumanizing everything around us.
Every single one of these children that have been aborted in the past 25 years have been sacrificed on the altar of progress and nothing else.
See, you're much more profound at saying what I mean. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's what I appreciate about you guys. That's why I let y'all talk, but sometimes I go on my tangents with lesser words.
No, it's good. I think you bring up some good points.
Some emotional influence as well. We might not be so hot to trot on the emotional points. That works.
Yeah.
Well, all of this stems from so I know you guys are aware of what the transhumanism movement is.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's essentially an idea for anybody out there listening who may not be aware. It's essentially the idea that through science we can end suffering, aging, and dying, right, by becoming something more or less than human, depending on how you look at it, by merging technology with the flesh, that kind of thing. And there's a lot of different people who go around this about this in different ways and whatnot. I believe that Elon Musk is in fact a transhumanist. He's talked before many times about how he wants to merge the flesh with the digital. And then you've got people like Klaus Schwab, who are obviously at this point looking for ways to extend his own life. And he's been very vocal about that shit too. It's just like, oh, well, we need to move to the next stage, but in order to do that, we gotta do all this horrific, like, kill everybody else thing first. And but essentially, yeah, it's about forcing the evolution of the species,
right,
into
they
something
want
else.
you dumber, because if you're dumber, you're easier to control. Stupid people spend their money from their paycheck immediately. They go out and they buy shoes and they buy liquor and they buy drugs, and then they go home and they have to work another week to make up the debt they've made this week. These are the dumb people of the world. They cannot use the concept of delayed gratification to pay off on our ability to kind of predict the future and make plans for the future that allow for them to pay off later. Right. Instead, much like the monkey trying to get a hold to the sugar cubes, he will not let go. And since he doesn't let go, they get captured. And that is the control by which they are going to take over every single one of your cellular devices. They are going to feed you the sugar that makes you incapable of letting go. I and Sam and Gal are that sugar currently. We're it.
I don't hate that.
Do you feel being a useful idiot?
Yeah. I feel like I'm a sugar block. I'm a salt lick. I'm a
certainly a sweetie.
Yeah. Now, so for those of you who've been following my channel for a while, on this show in particular, in the descriptions below, there's a quote that I think I try to make it relevant to whatever topics come up, but sometimes we go off the rails and whatever. But in this particular case, this week, from Scott Eli, and I think he raises an excellent point here. Even if we reach transhumanism pinnacle, no work, no suffering, no dying, will our lives really be fulfilled?
It sounds like no living.
It's exactly what it is. It's just existing perpetually. Like, there's nothing to strive for once you've achieved essentially digital godhood.
But is it really? See, this is the conundrum that's always bothered me. Much like with the nightmare of the teleporter in Star Trek. What happens to the original?
Did you ever see The Prestige? Because I'm pretty sure that's it.
Yeah. See The Prestige. Exactly. That's exactly my point. So the one that pops up, do we just have a replicator that can replicate humans? But that's not my point. My point is, when you join the organic with the inorganic, and you're including the concept of artificial intelligence in with the concept of human intelligence, you fuzz the lines of what is and is not. And that's one of those like borderline satanic, demonic kind of leanings that you get in this weird technological sphere for some reason. It's starting to sound kind of like a 40K comic. It's terrifying. They can implant you with something that makes you believe stuff that just floods your brain with information that you can't stop. Can you imagine your ad space in your brain? No.
Yeah. Did you ever see Altered Carbon?
Dude, I love Altered Carbon. That actually explains part of the where is the ID, the personhood.
Right.
It removes it from the human and puts it into the stack, and so the human itself is no longer the original, so to speak.
Yeah, they referred to bodies as sleeves because they can take them on and put them off at will, practically. So they did a pretty okay job of representing this in the TV adaptation. It's on Netflix. If you guys out there haven't seen it, watch the first season. It's fucking incredible. You can go ahead and skip the second season. It's a whole lot less than incredible. But
I don't know,
it's based
man. I
on
kind of like The Hotel. Edgar Allan Poe really sold me. I like the actor that was doing it. He did an excellent job. So I like the second season kind of.
So let me qualify this. I watched the first season, right? Because I was looking for something to watch, and I was like, "Oh, that looks mildly interesting," and I got sucked in. It was incredible. I loved it. So I went and I got all 3 books they had based this on the first book, and I read all of them in between when the first season and the second season came out. So when the second season came out, I had already read all of the books, and so I was really pissed about a lot of shit because it's completely jacked up. Like the fact that the hotel is in the second season, it shouldn't.
Yeah, like, I get it. I totally get what you're saying. And also, they kind of altered the way that the payoff paid off. It's really different in the series than it is the books, because in the books the payoff is essentially that the stacks are just copies, right? They're not really people. The people are the people, and what this people have been doing for the past 500 years is nightmarishly evil.
Yeah, and it kind of begs the question, like, are there any humans left, or are they all just programmed copies? Kind of thing. It raises some interesting questions. But what I was getting at was that it's described really well in the first book. So everybody's got this implant in their eyes or whatever, and as they walk down the street, ads pop up that only they can see. I mean, everybody gets ads all the time, but they're highly personalized, just like you'd get on Facebook or on Twitter or on wherever, like whatever you're typing into Google or whatever is going to come up 5 minutes later in an advertisement, and it's like pop-up ads on the fucking net, but it shows up in your fucking retina. Right.
Have you ever heard of
3D full color?
What was it? Alternative reality gaming? Alternate reality gaming? Augmented reality gaming. That's it.
Yeah.
This is where you utilize a lens to show you more than reality can show you through symbols and signs and stuff that are used to trigger the visuals. That's basically what they're talking about doing, but inside your eye.
Fuck that. Nope.
Yeah. And it's like that's where this is leading, in my mind, is that kind of thing. It's like Elon Musk wants everybody to have a fucking computer in their brain that they can access the internet and each other all the damn time, which I think is a horrifically bad idea. If you guys had any idea some of the shit that crosses my mind, it would not be good. It would not be good. And I don't want to know what crosses yours either.
I would tell you what a group of Sasquatch are called.
No, I don't think you did.
A confusion of Sasquatches.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So here we are with this, and this is another step towards that. These what's interesting is here in this article they call it right here. It says the brain organoids produced for this project are quite unlike a real human brain, as in a complete human brain. By the way, genetically there's no difference. The tissues used here represent
piece.
the cerebral cortex, which is only one piece of the brain. It's not even a whole brain. But even the cerebral cortex contains multiple cell types. So it's actually more complete than they're saying. They're just trying to get around the fact that they're fucking using essentially, and this is what gets to me. So you take cloning, for example, right? And I used to ask this question of everybody because I seriously wanted to know if there was any kind of perspective on this other than mine. If you clone a person, does that clone possess a soul? And if it does, where did the soul come from? Was the soul itself cloned, or was it gifted a new soul by whatever creator is out there? And if it doesn't, why doesn't it possess a soul? Right. So it's and I keep getting told this is a stupid question, but I don't think it is.
It's not a stupid question.
And I think that this right here,
morality thought experiment. It is
Right.
a distinctive position and a spot in reality where we had this capability. But if you're going to take a religious view of an amoral act and your reasoning is religious, then you will always come down on the side of it either having a soul granted by, some anonymous creator, or it's a golem.
Yeah.
And if it's a golem, then there's nothing immoral that can be done with it.
Right. So the reason that I bring that up here is because you're talking about partial brains, right? But living organisms nonetheless.
Right.
Do they also have partial souls, partial awareness?
That's the reason why
did they clone that shit too?
That's the reason I automatically knee jerk away from it when it's using human brain cells. They could have used any animal on earth. You cannot tell me a chimpanzee's brain is not acceptable for this type of testing. They specifically wanted to use humans because that was the question. Can we put chips in the brain and the brain survive? This is not to get chips to get computational power outside of your skull. This is to access the computational power within your skull. They want to make us batteries.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You forgot to put your tinfoil hat on.
No, I don't think we need it for this.
I know. That's
pretty in the face.
This is reality.
Unfortunately, like I said, I hate everything about the timeline.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, here we are. 30 years ago, we were all still bitching about why the Jetsons lied to us. We had no flying cars. We had no personal robots in the house named Rosie. And all that shit.
Back to the Future lied to us.
Yeah. And here we are 30 years later. After that, we still don't have those things. Instead, we get the most horrifying fucking body horror in real life, in real fucking time. And this is like, you know how fast Silicon Valley works. You know how fast these scientists organizations, they work, especially when they've got the funding for shit like this. And I guarantee this is fully fucking funded. Like it, I mean, how many generations of, like, I've had my phone, my cell phone. I've had my phone for 5 fucking years. It's a Galaxy S9, right? I got it the day before the S10 came out. We're up to like the S27 now.
Yeah.
In 5 years' time. And those are just generations of an inhuman, inanimate technology. Right? How much faster do you think this will go?
So
especially if they're using these to process this stuff.
Didn't they skip like 11 through 19? So like it went from S10 to S20 because it was 2020. Technically speaking, they did skip the teens.
Well, the teens are always a difficult time when raising any AI.
I would skip them too.
Not the point.
No, but to put it into perspective, you got to actually bring that minutia into the equation.
Okay, so what happens when they start skipping generations of advancement here?
I know. See, this still adds to your point. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Which I feel that they did skip.
Yeah.
What happens when you have
we're
a
not
dog
God
scratching your brain? That's my question. That's what I want to know.
What was your question?
What
Yeah.
happens when you have a DOS crash in your brain?
Right. Does it
That's
just
Or you get a computer
shut you
virus in
down
your skull.
completely? Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, nothing good. Nothing good at all. So
Just to be clear, I don't like it.
here's where we get to the really fucking sick shit. How organoids are made. Like other organoids, brain organoids start from human-induced pluripotent stem cells.
And what are stem cells?
Guess where you get the yeah. I mean, which are cells capable of generating any cell type in our body. This is true. It's the origin of them that's the problem.
Yep.
You only get those out of undeveloped fetuses.
Yeah,
Yep.
Soylent Green here, folks. This is the
Yeah.
Soylent Green part of the show. It's people.
Yeah. The lab team then applies a cocktail of chemicals that block or activate certain developmental pathways, which nudges the cells towards forming elements of the central nervous system. After this initial nudge, the cells remarkably know what to do next. Of course they do. And begin
that's part of why
forming
you're
the rudimentary. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand how that's remarkable, but okay, it's
Biology's real.
what cells do.
Functions. Function.
Yeah.
They don't want to put it into words because it goes against what they would like for a pro-choice, pro-life argument.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So once we instigate life in this fetus, we then shove a bunch of wires into it to prevent it from developing only the parts that we want it to develop.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is so gross.
This is heinous. I hate every part of it.
Yeah. I evil might be the word.
Mm-hmm. Abhorrent.
You know, evil. And let me. So my definition, chat's telling me that I guess I'm cutting in and out for them. I don't know if that is true for you guys as well.
Every once in a while, but it's been so much worse in the past that I barely notice the little ones.
Yeah. Me too. For the record, my definition of evil is very, very simple. Right. It's knowing the difference between right and wrong and choosing wrong deliberately anyway.
Yeah.
That's what this seems like to me. This seems like they should fucking know better, and they probably do.
I hate every part of it, dude. I'm starting to dislike you in general because of association, I think, for bringing it up. I knew this stuff was going on, but I really don't like thinking about it. And the more I think about it, the less I like the fact that it's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering, where are all the Edgar Friendlies of the world? And why haven't they, you know?
Yeah.
Wink, wink,
I mean, Edgar Friendly was just a regular guy that.
Some dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, this is going to give me a migraine later. I can tell.
Later.
Look, we bring this stuff up not because we necessarily, I'm not trying to make anybody's day worse. I just think it's important that we're aware that this shit is going on. Like we're obviously aware of what the news is blasting day in and day out. That's a constant thing. It's hard to miss and all that stuff. But there's a bunch of shit that's getting slid right under us, right under our noses, because they got all the big flashy shit out front, right? And they're only now talking about this openly. And the reason that they're only now talking about this openly is because it's already done.
Yeah.
Because there's no going back now. It's
they
been
did
done.
it in secret, so now that they have the product.
So now they're going to have to release it out in a drip feed to the public so that they can slowly assimilate it into their daily knowledge and not rebel whenever they find out that it's people.
Mm-hmm. You know what would make a very effective vehicle for disseminating these kinds of things among the populace? I don't know, maybe a spike protein chain. an mRNA shot.
Nope.
A mutagen
It's
of
an
some
election
kind.
year, brother.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
I'm sorry.
That's fine. It is what it is. But here we are. We're sitting on it, and that's
The
thing.
timing
Like,
of it
there's a
all
handful of
is
fucking
interesting.
people.
It is interesting.
Yeah,
It
there are a
is
handful of
really
people who think.
Wait a second. Hold on. I just had an epiphany. I'm sorry, Sam. What if the whole plan is to use this to inject Biden so that he can become the God King Emperor?
Oh,
You know, like
God.
something out of Dune or 40K. You know, a cadaver.
Yeah, I got nothing.
sitting on. Like, can you? I can see it. I can tell you, he looks like the cadaver already. So, like, all you have to do is put something mechanical in his brain that pretends to be intelligent, and then have people pretend to listen to him.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's already mechanical shit in his brain.
At the very least, in his limbs, keeping him upright and mobile. I'm surprised we can't hear the fucking servos going off at the press conferences.
I'm surprised we can't see Pelosi's hand up his butt, but that's just me.
Them tickle bitties would get right in the way of that, but
yeet.
I'm not. So we got a buddy, Shaka Zulu, who is somewhat obsessed with what he calls Nancy bags. Ever since that picture of her in the bathing suit came out, and I'm not gonna lie, for a chick who's she's an octogenarian.
Roll 3 or 4, baby.
Stacked. She is kind of stacked.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Roll 3 or 4. You see, anything on the internet not only exists that you can think of, not only exists on the internet, but has been used for porn. So there's someone selling it sexually currently right now, whatever you think, anything under the sun.
And I bet Shock's somewhere in a dark room watching it.
This is why I don't believe in space travel. I don't think we've actually been to space. This is one of them. Gal, I want to see your face when I say this.
Oh Lord.
So do you believe we've been to the moon?
I don't know if I could answer that.
Okay.
As a child, I did.
Let it float.
Yeah.
Do you believe that we've been to orbit? Do we have a space station?
I mean, yes, without researching on my own. Yes.
Right. Okay. So if there's a space station, then humans have been in orbit for what, 30 years, roughly? Give or take. We've been making trips up there. Then tell me this. Why is it there is not a single sex scene from any of the anything ever? Not once. NASA has publicly opened feeds, and yet not once has there ever been even the slightest hint of sexual activity in space. And I call bullshit, because that would be the very first thing that two humans did when they got into space, regardless of exactly which way to, like, I guarantee you, we're in space, 0G. We're never going to
looking at the Earth. Yeah. I mean, I can see your point. But what are they putting in the food?
Where's my snuff film? Where's my NASA snuff film? It doesn't exist, and we're not up there.
There could be something that they put in the food to lower those.
Chemically castrate.
Yeah.
Would you care? Would it matter? I'm in space in 0G. I'm never coming back anyway. They can't do anything to me until I get home. I'm going to get
just meaning like maybe it inhibits the desire to do so.
You say so, but it does not inhibit the desire to be famous when I get home. I'm telling you, it's never happened because it's not going on. And until somebody shows me some sort of NASA something with full money shots, I don't want to hear it.
Okay, so I'll give you this. That's the best argument I've heard.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, dude, if you get shot into space and you do some shit like that, when you get back home, you're going to jail because you just stickied up some like $1 million fucking astrometrics equipment with your
Worth it.
0G money shot.
I am so good with that. I am so good because now we know that it's not a flat earth, that people are going to space. It's actually happening. And you don't have people like me who sees all of the data and goes, that all seems legit. But wait, there's one problem. What? Rule 304. Well, what about it? There's never been a money shot in space. And if that hasn't happened, I don't think we've actually been there.
I don't know. I believe the captain. Kirk. He wins.
I don't think a TV show counts as actual exploration.
The actual actor
look.
went to space.
If we never actually went to the moon, though, isn't it all a TV show?
Rule 34. Damn it, mushroom. I should eat me, man. You can bite one big old hairy nut. That's all I gotta say. Thank you for correcting me. Sorry, I was thinking about the chicks too. My bad. I was simping over here. You blame me? What was I saying? 304? That's an error. That's an error code. Rule 34. Damn it.
Well, the error code is 404.
Yeah. There should be more sex in space.
It's true. Because like when you think about it, just if you're out there looking at the Earth from space, that's just got to be completely ethereal, I would think. And yeah, natural instincts should kick in. See, this is why this is the most convincing argument I've heard. So
yeah, you like that?
Yes.
That bothers you, doesn't it? Somewhere deep in your psyche, you're like, wait, that can't be right. We're monkeys. There's no way. You just locked a bunch of monkeys in a metal box and they didn't screw each other. I'm calling bullshit. I'm sorry, dude. I can't buy it. And I cannot find a single person to give me a legitimate reason. And I've heard the chemical castration and all of this. Yeah.
Yeah.
None of it sails on the open sea, brother. The truth does not need defense. This is what they mean. It is a lion. Merely release it.
Because I would just think you're sitting there outside of the Earth, seeing
I'm gonna get a little bit of a tub. You're right. I'm gonna be aroused.
Well, but if you think about it, at the same point in time, my brain would be saying to myself, I am such a tiny speck on this big, beautiful planet, right? But at the same time, I'm also in space, outside looking in, at some sort of all-powerful being, a pride at being outside, seeing that where, instinct could totally kick in. Lady boner achieved.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for my money, if I go up in a rocket ship and I look down on Earth and I'm looking down on Earth and everything's out there laid out for me to see, and it says, well, I'm getting a god's eye view of everything. I'm totally splooshing. That's absolutely happening.
I'm becoming aroused. There's no debate on that. So
serial killers get turned on when they take one life. What happens when you actually have the POV of a god?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I don't buy it. The moon landing was Kubrick's greatest work. And the rest of it follows as you there's how I have been to some rockets. and I'm not sure what they're doing up there, but I'm pretty sure they're lying to us about stuff, specifically sex. Dude, I've broken so many brains with that one. They're like, no, damn.
Even in the fiction, man, the very first one of the first scenes in the fucking TV series version of The Expanse, they're fucking in 0G.
Well, because also, wouldn't you just want to?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Setting everything else aside, there is no gravity.
I am straight as the day is long, and if it's an all-man cruise, they might have a problem.
I mean, look at it like this. So you're in 0G, right? Even if you're just rubbing one out, right? So when it comes time to climax, do you think if 0G, right, you're in space, there's that it will act as like a little booster and kind of push you to the other side of the room.
Absolutely. I don't know about yours, but mine would.
It's like a bit of a shotgun blast, and you're off to the races.
Like one of the little popper boats.
Right, Karthief? Yeah, nothing else.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Damn right. I mean, you get locked up when you get back, okay, and every time they change guards, you get to lean out and go, "Hey, I'm the guy that screwed Zero G. How you doing?" And they'd shake your hand every single one of those guards. What was it like, bro? It was everything you'll never feel.
Yeah. It's everything I thought.
Now
it would
this
be
needs
more.
to be a movie.
What? Jerking off in 0G?
And no, I'm not talking about a porno.
But can we talk about a porno? I mean, I'm sorry, Sam. I apologize. I've been ruining hosts all week. Every time I come on a panel, the host just starts giggling. I think it's my
come
fault.
on a panel, huh?
Right?
No,
it's because
good. I worry about saying something that's going to get your channel in trouble. So
really, that's weird.
I do like the thing I was saying earlier about dissemination via spike proteins. But anywho, Omega in chat. Have you heard the feds are shutting down InfoWars studios? Yes, because Alex Jones won't shut the fuck up about it. Been going off about this for 24 straight hours on Twitter with videos and ad plays and all kinds of stuff. And if it is happening, I mean, that sucks, but it's not going to stop him. They're just shutting down the physical studio location building. They have backups in place.
I will build a mobile unit and go pick him up just to broadcast his ass. He's hilarious.
There would be no point to
Intend to be here for a little while. We can come in and take a little time off and let him have a little breather every now and then. I can totally talk about the gay frogs. That's no problem.
That's a little disturbing, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's not screwed in terms of getting the message out. They have other ways of doing that. They don't necessarily have to broadcast from those studios. Although, yeah, it's kind of bullshit that the Fed can just come in and shut down something that I'm pretty sure that his LLC owns.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, that is bullshit.
That would be if they left Alex Jones alone, that would be a primary platform Trump would be promulgated from. And that's just part of the program of this whole disassemble everything associated with Trump that can promulgate his message and do your best to smear him. Now, the Teflon Don has done very well up to now. We'll see in appeals whether or not any of this actually sticks, but I have a weird feeling it's just going to slide right off, man.
Yeah. And honestly, not to put a negative connotation to Alex Jones.
Go ahead. This is the void. We're all about the negatives. Let's do the negative. Let's go with the negative.
I just see it as a Hydra situation. Sure. Shut it down. 2, 3, 4 more are just going to pop right the fuck up.
That's exactly right. Yes. Between a grassroots effort and an astroturf.
Shit, look at what we're doing here.
Right.
What we do is not that dissimilar to what he does, except that he actually spends more time researching shit than I do. I mostly talk out of my ass. But it's real quick, Real Wade. Hey, Samiel the Infamous, can I raid you? I don't have an issue with it, dude, but I think you kind of might be a little confused on how a raid works.
Yeah.
You don't have to ask permission for that shit.
Well, actually, you do. So, apparently, there's a setting to where you have to approve who can send their people,
there's a different
actual raid.
Oh, okay.
But otherwise, just put a link into this.
Yeah.
In your chat, so people can click.
Are we raiding?
Yeah. I guess we're being rated. I don't know.
It's redirected. Dude, just go to your chat and drop the link to whichever thing you want. Pin. Make sure you pin it in chat and then tell everybody to get the hell out because they can't stay here anymore.
Yeah.
You
Just
don't
fair
gotta go
warning,
home.
though, we are talking about jizz in space. You know, so like, that is what
Or
it is.
0G fucking.
Yeah.
if
Well,
you
no,
wanna-
just the lack thereof. We're not actually
Well, yes,
discussing
that's true.
fucking itself. We're talking
The
about the fact
I mean,
of it?
humans have never been to
the end
space.
The end result would be jizz in space either way, right?
That should be its own show, man.
Right. And it should be entitled as such.
Right? You should bring up
it should be a Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks.
It's jizz. It's jizz in space.
Like I said, I've been ruining shows all week. Thanks. Enjoy it, y'all. It's been great. He's gonna kick me out now.
Oh man, that's
Or space jizz kind of works.
I'm pretty sure that's going to be a short, buddy.
Okay.
I think space jizz probably been used. I mean, the Japanese have been around for like 5,000 years, so it's probably been used by them.
Yeah.
Right. Imagine if you know what? I mean, yeah, it'd be floating around until it got too close to the sun anyway, or whatever.
Or aliens find it for his next chat. Yeah.
Once it freezes and boils a bajillion times, would it still be jizz, or would it break down to its components? Why do we ask? This is the void. We can ask whatever we like, right?
Exactly.
It's important questions. It's important questions, I think. So here's the thing: freezing in space is not the same thing as freezing in, say, a refrigerator or a freezer on Earth.
I was going to say refrigerator.
Very, very, very different. You're talking about temperatures at or below absolute zero, which I guess below that is not really a thing. But so this is
you misspoke, but go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, absolute zero. Like, you know, when you freeze, you freeze so hard that your blood boils in your veins, and then it's a whole fucking category of other things. So I don't think that the sperm organelles would survive.
I didn't say nothing about survival. I was talking about would it still essentially be jism?
I mean, it'd have all the component parts, right?
But if an alien finds it, they probably have a good feel for technology. Would they be able to?
I doubt it. There's radiation. You got to think. Another argument against space travel in the modern era is the Van Allen radiation belts, and if this went through it, then it would be unlikely to be viable in any point.
Well, if the aliens went through it and found it here
in orbit around Earth,
in
space, which would be outside the Van Allen radiation belts, which means that the testicles that carried it through the Van Allen radiation.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Very well.
They would have been scrambled on the way through there. Now you can generate new sperm that's just as effective as, but it's just that load, that particular one. I'm sorry. Why is this getting technical?
Wow. Why couldn't it be both? Why couldn't you freeze and burn at the same time? Right. You know, because when you're talking about the radiation, you're absolutely right. It's chock full of that too. But I don't see why you couldn't do both, at least not for a second.
At least on one side and then the other. Like it like that's what I'm saying. Would it break down to its constituent components before it? I mean, it'd be a cinder eventually.
Yeah.
I don't know that it would break down necessarily. Yeah. I mean, it's essentially just a like you'd say, like a splotch of carbon. Right.
And
a handful of other elements in much lesser degrees.
But would you be able to identify it as having once been the effluent of man?
we just look. I don't know too much about the Ripper. I don't know too much about the Ripperverse. I know there's a character called Blood Ruth. Apparently, she's got like blood related powers. I think we just found her new nemesis, Jizz Man from outer space. He's like a sentient blob of all of the
you did it wrong.
Expelled by astronauts fucking each other on the space station.
Yeah, dude, if you're gonna do it, you got to do it right. It's not Jizz Man from outer space. It's Jizz Man.
It's like Captain Caveman, but jizz.
Oh my god.
Captain Caveman was just a hairy dude anyway. Hi, gal.
I'm gonna carry that image to my grave.
Oh man.
Welcome back, gal. We missed you.
And I've missed you guys.
Thank you for rating us in.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely doing that. Not feeding into it at all.
Dick balls in the mother's chest. Toby gets it.
You guys, I know Gal knows who this is. Are you Caucasian Sasquatch? Have you followed the F&T and BBC stuff enough to know who Peeping Tom is?
Not really. I'm aware of the name. I'm aware there's a person by this description, and I don't really know nothing about it. If you'd like to enlighten me, I'm all ears.
So as from the channel Heel versus Babyface, right? Funny dude, Brit, really, really likes his toys. There was one of the memers, one of the early Legion of Memers members went out, and they I think even pre Legion of Memers started creating replicas of classic comic covers, right, from DC, from Marvel, and all that stuff, and put as the hero Peeping Tom, who suffered a radiation accident that allowed him to like peer through women's clothing.
And pretty much every
And that's like the whole thing. Yeah. And his sidekick is X-Ray Girl.
The week's episode.
The one chick he can't see through her clothes because she turns invisible, or she just turned to bones. X-ray Girl, does she have X-ray vision?
I think she's made of X-rays, I think is what that came down to. But
that's
it's something yeah. and every week he's got, somebody will send in a super chat to like the real BBC, and it'll be, and I think it's the guy who's actually doing these covers, but it goes on and on about the menace that week is like, ball and chain, and it's a woman who comes to lock you down kind of thing. And so he's got to fight off the old ball and chain.
It's great.
It was a lot of fun with that. But anyway, that's what I'm thinking of when I'm thinking of this cock and balls emblem. This Jizz Man has got to be in some way a rival to Peeping Tom. That's what I'm thinking. Right.
Yeah.
Maybe
absolutely. That way you can shoot him in the eye every time.
Comic Division's face on it. Or Dermy's. Dermy would be good for this, I think. I think this should be a Dermy character. Because Jizz Man isn't that particular about who he jizzes on.
Yeah, he doesn't discriminate.
Jizz is bad. Okay. It's bad. No, I was saying you could the thing is could be hitting Peeping Tom in the eye every episode. It's like psh.
Toby, you're the guy.
The swallow.
I'm fucking choking on laughter.
You're a genius. You are.
Yeah.
I bet that's just this is a sock account and you're some major creator out there. This is where you go to like shoot all your shots against the wall that you know won't go anywhere in mainstream. Jack Snyder, is that you?
Shoot all your shots against the wall. Crazy, my friend.
Sam. I've ruined Sam.
Yeah, you broke him.
This is why I don't get invited places. What's up, baby? Little baby. Hi. Sam, are you all right?
I really think you did break him or his internet.
Yeah, I got him good. I'm disinfecting people. You know, it comes from many years of trolling behind the scenes and learning what triggers people. And he's gonna have to restart his computer before he can come back. I'm pretty sure he punched his microphone in the middle of that. But you're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. That's been Screaming into the Void.
And there we go. So neither one of us, or I guess you probably have the power to shut it down.
Future.
Wait, was that Sam's tentacles trying to?
Yeah, well, I'm aroused. I like Sam's tentacles. You know, I can't do anything with this. I can't end it. I can't move us.
You can't. Okay.
I can't do anything. Nothing at all. But Sam doesn't even trust me. So I don't know what to tell you. We're going to complete this until he can get in on his phone and end it. And then we'll go from there. So
rock on.
The swallow. The swallow. I feel like the swallow should be like RuPaul.
Oh God.
Oh no. Have you ever seen Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil?
No. Should I look it up?
The transgender chick, can't remember the name. I'm pretty sure Sam just punched his computer in the process of that. I made him laugh so hard I crashed his system. Probably not the first time it's happened either. But yeah, no, there's a transgender chick in Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, and if the swallow is going to be a person, it should be her.
Okay, I feel like I might have found her. I searched.
She's eccentric. She was a fixture in Savannah for many moons. Like it was not uncommon to see her out just tooling the freaking world in her most fabulous life.
Yeah, I think I did.
Somebody popped into a chat the other day and asked for a good book to read, so they didn't have a decent book to read. And 20 minutes later, I realized I was still hammering in suggestions. I was like, Stranger to Strange Land, Methuselah's Children. Like, you should probably check out Ender's Game. That's pretty good. You need to go through the Wheel of Time series. That should take you about 5 years.
So I should have you create a list of a bunch of books for my streams then.
Frankenstein.
I know Frankenstein is already on the list, Sam. So I read to my chat every Thursday. I live stream books that are like public domain.
Right. I've considered doing it. When I first started my channel, I was planning on reading Westerns, public domain Westerns, because I have the voice for it. I thought that would be a good go.
Absolutely.
And so the microphone that I got was not compatible with my OBS. It worked, but very, very badly. And I didn't like it, but it would work on StreamYard just fine. And so I ended up live streaming a whole bunch of crap by default of just not being able to record with the microphone I had. Right. So the idea of reading Westerns kind of faded out and turned more into an interview / reaction thing, because that was all I could come up with to do. And I don't know, it's worked out pretty well so far. Most of my subscribers.
I think you should have Gal on Sasquatch Chills.
I would love to.
Yeah, it's where he promotes you.
It's a direct promotion show. It's and I don't discuss anything except what happens on YouTube. If you want to bring up other stuff, that's up to you. Like I hosted Larry last week before last.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was a good show too.
Sam. This week is YouTube slave class number 2. Rabbit holes.
Oh, when is
that? First Thursday of every month is a YouTube slave class.
You doing that while talking about rabbit holes?
Yes, sir.
Really weird.
We all should hold on.
I better not laugh too hard again, or my shit's gonna crash.
No, I'm gonna set it up here in a couple of hours. I've been kind of plotting this for a minute. For next week. Next week should be the first Thursday, right?
Yeah, next week is the first Thursday of June. Yeah.
Right. So if you have any malleability in your show scheduling, it's going to go on for about 4 hours is the plan. And I'm going to hopefully cycle through a handful of different creators to come in and discuss what rabbit holes are to them. Because apparently there are two definitions of the rabbit hole. One is the Alice in Wonderland interpretation, where all kinds of wanders at the bottom of it, right? Like you never find the bottom. It's just an endless hole you go down and you never get there. It's a dream sequence hole. And then the other one, get this, and I've had a couple of people tell me this. It is a hole you go into that has lots of deviations in it, so that it's real hard to find anything meaningful off in there. And I went, no, that's not it. It's Alice in Wonderland reference. And they're like, no. It has to do with how many different pathways you have when you go research certain stuff. And I'm like,
I think that it's both.
I was just going to say those are very similar to each other.
Have you know what a rabbit warren looks like, right? It's got one hole on the top, right? And it connects to 100 other holes, but they're like 100 feet out. But underneath, there are all these twisting, turning tunnels that all are seemingly connected and maybe not connected, because rabbits are kind of stupid fucking diggers. And so it's just you could end up literally anywhere from one point. Yes, diggers.
Careful.
I said diggers. I said diggers with a D.
I got the wrong accent, baby. Do not get me down this rabbit hole.
Diggers.
Careful, bro. I'm telling you, they will smoke your ass more than I'll go with you. You're on the wrong channel to be playing that game. I once said the word knitters.
Right.
In a sentence and didn't go back to it. The chat lost their mind.
Yeah. So
my guest almost did. He was like, yo, you play a real hard debate over here tonight, ain't you, Caucasian? He made me a little.
If they go back like half a second in that sentence, I did say rabbits are. I said that with the hard D too.
Every week we're in the blast radius. I try to trigger Captain Curmudgeon into a laughing fit. Every week. And now I have Captain Curmudgeon and Midlife Burr Logic working with me on the blast radius, and I'm going to try to do both of them because I'm that kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yes, man. I'm gonna get you, gal. You keep on. I'm gonna break her down. She's gonna be crying when I get done with her. Tears, real tears.
Yeah. Seriously though, you should go on his show. It's a lot of fun.
It's actually way more serious than you would expect from me. I know you've seen me joke around a whole lot. That's the one thing on my channel that I actually take seriously is that show. I have a non-copyright intro. I have non-copyright outro. You can stream it to your channel. The actual show part, and then the after dark portion of it is where I bring up people from chat or other channels that either have been on the show or want to be on the show, and we come in and do like sound checks and whatnot. But I also bring a couple of videos to check out, in case nobody shows up, because sometimes folks be busy, so we'll have some reactionary type stuff to look at. Yeah, it's a hoot. I try to keep it light and fun. And I'm a paleontologist, so I'll go find your very first video and look at it. Because I'm a paleontologist.
Yeah.
Mine aren't that ancient, though.
Doesn't matter. Does not even really. Lawrence has no content that I was able to find, and I interviewed him last week. So he's done. I was interviewed a Jeff Bigfoot hunter. I have interviewed a legitimate goblin.
Okay.
Yeah. Larry's case though, he does have content. It's just not on the channel called Lawrence Knight. It's on the channel called
I get that. It's out there.
Yeah.
It's just that I asked him what channel he wanted to do, and that's the one he responded with, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was also more interested in the other things that he does that aren't directly personally content related, like how he does back with you and with Amira and all the other stuff. Because
he runs a lot of back end stuff.
Class was about non-creator thoughts, right? how people come on panels and they can truly disrupt a panel because they don't take into consideration the fact that creators are doing this for a reason. You can call it an agenda, you can call it whatever you want to, but the fact is we don't want our work crashed just because you have a fifi about the First Amendment that does not exist on YouTube.
Right.
So non-creator thoughts was the topic of the last one. This time it's going to be rabbit holes, and I'm going to try to get 007, Flow State, and I would like Sam and maybe Midlife Bro Logic would be a good fit. That's a good spread. If I get Truth Be Told in, that would be cool because he's totally different genre. Doesn't do really reaction stuff. He's a cop watcher, and so it'd be like an outside view, so to speak.
Yeah, I might be able to swing that. It'll be a little later on for me because my work schedule will take me to about 8:30 my time, which is like 10:30 your time, whatever.
5. Like I might rock that one back another hour just because a lot of West Coasters won't be able to be involved, and I've interviewed a bunch of West Coasters. Yeah, I almost want to invite Carrie just because, like I said, that outside perspective concept. But the problem with inviting Carrie.
Yeah, I do. He's not good for panels. He doesn't like panels, and he makes it very well known when he's on a panel that he'd rather be somewhere else. Usually by turning his camera off and cleaning his guns without turning his fucking mic off.
Wait, I just heard a 7.62 slide. What?
Yeah.
What are you doing, Gary? Nothing.
Yeah. No, he's not
a panel guy. He's drinking. Jeez, man.
I was just about to say, I'm like, and here it comes.
It's not gonna get old.
You're gonna crash again, Sam.
I don't care. It's funny.
You're turning into Nomi.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not actually a comedian. I just play one on YouTube.
Okay.
No, I've got it in my head now, and I don't have like the full costume like gelled in my head yet, but I'm working on an image for this, and at the heart of it is my good pal Dermy Wormy.
So is this going to be like Bad Boy from Freakazoid? Like a big unitard? Like round?
It'll definitely be a unique card, yeah.
It's gonna be.
We got to give him a cowl, not a cape. No cape, cowl, like a little half short cape, like a lobster bib put on backwards.
Well, I was thinking like he could have hanging from his belt like maybe a crusty hand towel.
That's good, but we could put like a lobster bib on his back like a cowl, and the swallow would have it on his chest. Okay, I'll say it. I want to know.
Gobble, gobble.
I was just saying, if you swallow, it would be better somewhere on the lips than the chest, because you're swallowing.
I like the way you think, but I'm just saying in case you get us. Tell you, I'm going to injure this girl.
Yeah, what if it's just a bib, really?
Exactly. That's exactly why I said a lobster bib. I say we just don't cut the freaking strings, man. We just go with it. I wait until she hears about my movie concept. Oh, have I ever told you about Meth Gator? Well, obviously we're gonna have to do this one in Florida, right?
What's that?
Meth Gator. Have I ever told you about my movie concept, Meth Gator?
I don't think so.
Sam, have I got a minute?
It's go for it.
All right, it's Meth Gator, the love story. So there's a man and a woman who's having problems in their relationship, and they decide to sign up for a tour in Florida, one last trip to try to save their marriage, right? It's like the whole concept is like this beautiful Everglades windboat tour, and everything's provided, and they go down and stay in a bed and breakfast, and it's nice little town. You could call it Pleasantville. It's like Mayberry vomited all over this place. Okay. When you show up, everybody's wandering around outside doing stuff, and it's perfect land 101. Everything is beautiful. This place is obviously artificial. completely artificial. When they pull up to the gas thing and get gas and he tries to pay for it, the guy looks at the money as if he hasn't seen it ever before. He's like, check that out. And he cashes them out and it's fine. And then she sees some dude get snatched off a dock by an alligator just in broad daylight. And she's like, oh my God, I just seen a dude snatched by an alligator. And he's like, come on, honey. I mean, it's Florida. There's gators and people all over the place. I mean, look, there's a gator right there. There's a person here trying to hit it with his fishing pole. And they go into their freaking B&B. Mm-hmm. Where the next morning he's brushing his teeth, looking out the window, and he sees some dude snatched by a gator. And he's like, honey, I just saw a dude snatched by a gator. As soon as we get done with what we're doing here, we're getting the hell out of here because there's man-eating gators in the water around here. But when they come out, they run into the guy who's supposed to give them the tour. And then he finds out they're leaving. He's like, look, I'll tell you what, I'll refund you half the money. Just go on the 4-hour tour and it'll be great. You'll have a great time. You'll decide to stay and it'll be fine. Right. And after a little he and a haw, and they decide to go for it. And then it turns into a dark horror where the gators just following them all across the swamp. And eventually the dude snatched off the boat and the guy has to guide the boat back into the dock where they find everybody who's been eaten by the gator sitting around eating burgers and having a good old freaking barbecue. And they give you a plate of barbecue, slap you on the back, said you did real good. Most people don't manage to make it back to the town. You saved your wife. You did. This was excellent. Did you have a good time? It's an adventure tour. Did you enjoy yourself? Now, here's the thing. The alligator has no teeth because it's addicted to meth. They've been training it by leading it around with methamphetamines. And that's why people are volunteering to basically get snatched by the gator. It's all part of the gimmick. It just drags you down and swims away and chases the boat because that's where it gets its fix from. The very beginning of the movie opens on a dark canal with a cheesy little camper barely perched on the edge of a dock next to the canal. And the dope boy comes up and gets the dope and tries to get away. And as he's riding away, the gator snaps him.
Oh God.
And then it takes the whole lab. And then you go into like the love story part of it. But tell me that's not a freaking banger, man.
Better than Cocaine Bear.
Bullshit.
Well, Cocaine
Sam.
I don't know, man. That was a pretty fun movie. But
no, I love your idea. I do.
You shoot it from the perspective of like a 70s horror movie with a body count. I'm talking Nightmare on Elm Street, Slaughterhouse. I want some Slaughterhouse angles in there.
It's like Texas, original Tobe Hooper's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah.
Like some of the wild stuff whenever the gator, and we could go full on grainy effect for the gator view. It'd be like, remember the movie Alligator back in the day, the one in the sewers in New York? I want those types of vibes from this.
I would see it.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the
it's
point.
Not
Is to make something good.
Okay, fine. She can save them. Does it matter who saves them as long as it saves their marriage? It's a love story, after all. Welcome to Florida.
How about they both save each other? It's a team effort. Can anyone complain with that?
You know, there's still a slew of movies that came out or being announced and shit that were supposed to be taken off of this whole, because whether you like it or not, Cocaine Bear did pretty well for a shit B movie, you know. And it got some attention.
Danged.
Yeah. So when that happened, obviously everybody wanted to jump on that bandwagon. So there was all kinds of like animals doing narcotics, drugs. The kind of themes that were coming out, and my personal favorite that I saw the poster for, I haven't actually watched most of these yet, but was called Crackoon.
I was thinking PCP Emu.
That'd be good too. Right. I think there's Crack Bats too, but yeah, Crackoon was my personal favorite. I was like, that is the best fucking title.
Yes, well done on the title.
PCP move. No, they're unkillable. You apparently can't kill them with machine guns.
No, they're just smarter than Australians. That's all that was.
I was just gonna say maybe Aussie because they don't know how to use any guns.
Yeah, I mean,
but I'll give you that one. You got me there. I'm pretty sure they stopped running around so much.
Yeah, I don't want to rag too much on the Aussies and losing a shooting war to
Better
giant
not. They're the
flightless
only
idiot
people on
birds
earth that
twice.
gets a free redneck pass. I wouldn't rag
Right.
on the Aussies either, man. They are every single one of them bastards is an honorary redneck.
Yeah, except that
I mean, their country.
they did lose 2 shooting wars to giant flightless idiot birds.
Yes, but it would take a redneck to go to war with flightless idiot birds.
With machine guns, they lost. Machine guns. The birds did not have machine guns. They
didn't have
know.
They were just better tacticians, I guess. I don't know, but the birds won twice.
It blows my mind that they did it twice. It really tripped me out that they were like,
this didn't go so well the first time, so let's do everything exactly the same way this time.
We had a bunch of idiots running the show last time. Surely we could do better. Nope. Now it's birds 2, Aussies 0. Usually when mankind tries to extinct an animal, it's not a whiff. We're pretty good at it. Unless you're Australian and it's a 7-foot bird. What's up, Dennis? How long did these usually run, bud?
Oh, till we're done.
Good. Good. I don't have to stop being funny. That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know why Gal's shaking her head because she's always picking on Australians, especially short ones who wear women's jackets.
I was shaking my head because it's all true. They lost to birds. They know it. They own it.
Yeah,
they
do.
In their own history schools.
You know what's funny is they don't have a problem really. The Australians that I know, and I only know a handful of them, but the ones that I do know have only ever taken issue with my telling that story because I pronounce emu the American way.
Emu?
They're like it's emu, and I'm like, no, it's emu.
Emu. Yeah. The dingo took my baby.
Yeah, they're just like, no, it's emu. Like Grant Gregory has gone after me several times about my mispronunciation of that word. According to him, I don't think I'm mispronouncing it.
More often than not, I pronounce it emu.
I tried to go hunting one time, and witnessed an emu in Georgia traveling with a bunch of turkeys. And I was so flummoxed by it that I immediately just packed up all my stuff and went home. And my pops was like, I thought you were going to be hunting. And I was like, nope, I saw something. And he's like, what? I said, I got to go get a picture first. He's like, what do you mean? And I went and printed out a picture of an emu and brought it to him. And was like, I saw that. A juvenile emu with a bunch of turkeys. He's like, no joke. Well, so-and-so up the river used to have about 2,000 of them, and they all got away when Ivan came through. So there might be a small breeding population of emu in Georgia. But here's the thing. He asked me why I didn't shoot it, and I was like, well, it's not turkey season, and that's $10,000 fine on that thing. And you try convincing the fucking game warden that I was aiming at an emu. Leave that one to you, Pops. It's all yours. Go ahead.
Oh man, we had ATL Transparency stopping in. We're kind of on the tail end where we're just kind of making these. We're seeing how much giggling we can do before we piss ourselves at this point, apparently. But
I know I'm good.
Yeah,
y'all might
you missed all the serious shit was like earlier in the show, but yeah,
we did good. We did good.
We really go, George. We really go.
Love him and rub him and pet his pretty furs.
God, I growing up watching Looney Tunes and watching those characters on Looney Tunes, I had no idea until much later in life that they were based on characters from one of my fucking least favorite John Steinbeck novels of all time. By the way, I'm one of those people who thinks that John Steinbeck is a shit writer, but it's just me.
That's because you read The Grapes of Wrath.
That's because I read Of Mice and Men and The Grapes of Wrath.
Yeah, there's your problem. Just watch the movie. I'll think about the rabbits. We're gonna have some lovely bunnies.
It's like what a fucking dark, pointless story that was. Like You know?
Can I spoil that? Can I spoil it for everyone? I mean, it's what, the 70, 80-year-old book. I can't spoil it, can I?
That the Gal, are you planning on reading that one?
Of Mice and Men? Is that what you said?
There's one part of it that might be worth reading if you're gonna throw up a video of something being read. The end of that book has one of the most poignant endings in all of history because it's so freaking pointless.
Spoil away.
All right, so leading up to the final solution, as it were, the reason that homie has to be killed is because every time the big guy gets within arm's reach of a beautiful girl, he tries to touch her like Joe Biden. But when they scream, he shuts them up. And the implication is this may have happened more than a few times. And that's why he takes him down by the creek to talk to him about the rabbits and give him the old 22 lobotomy, you know.
Yeah. So like I said, it's a seriously dark, seriously fucked up, and totally
very
pointless
dark
fucking story.
It sounds very dark
and pointless. Yes, but it is a good linguistic Mobius of itself eating its own tail, and I kind of like that.
I kind of get that, but it's just like, I don't know. I'm no stranger to darkness in stories, or even to a degree pointlessness, but it's not even like entertaining at all. It's just fucking dreary.
Yeah, it's set during the Great Depression. Everything is terrible. Curly wants to beat his wife and wants people to watch it. It's wild.
Even reading it in your head, like the words that are in your head from reading the story from the page, right, are fucking monotone. You know, it's just like this monochromatic gray dreary. It's like a cloudy day in February on the page.
You can make the same argument about The Grapes of Wrath and The Great Gatsby. Both of them also have a sort of a monochrome kind of thing. That's why The Great Gatsby is often filmed in like
a theme here.
Yeah, he's just a bad writer.
Yes.
All right. So I once heard someone give this same argument about Catcher in the Rye. How do you feel about that one?
I never actually read that. It's J.D. Salinger, right?
Yeah, J.D. Salinger. If you've never read it, it's a hard read for me, right? It was very difficult for me because The Catcher in the Rye demonstrates pointlessness on such an epic level that you might not catch it the first time you read through it. But if you read through it, it begins in the middle of a sentence. It is not start. There's no beginning to this story. And likewise, there is no end. It also ends in the middle of a sentence. It just stops. It's not that there's no one interpretation of his homie goes on to do the final 22 lobotomy for himself. There's another interpretation of that's where he turned his life around. There's all kinds of different people read it and get different things from it. But the most disturbing part to me was its attachment to MK Ultra and the fact that it is a story that neither starts nor stops. So
and
it
that
has
every assassin in the last 80 years had a copy of it.
That's that too. But when you read it, how does it have such a grip on people that
Well done, Toby. Well done.
Oh, it fucking hurts now.
You're welcome. That's what she said. I ordered to put some ointment on it to be fine in the morning. Walk it off, girl.
Wasn't trying to derail the conversation, but I saw that and I kind of lost it a little bit.
But ATL, if you're not on a government watch list today, I'm probably not going to trust you at all.
Yeah.
You know. So go ahead, check it out. It's not an easy read because it doesn't go anywhere and there's no purpose in it, and it's just basically the random thoughts and spoken phrases of a schizophrenic in the middle of a full-on schizo attack, and he's like wandering around just doing stuff, and it's wild. So don't expect to get anything meaningful from it. The meaning of the book is the pointlessness of it all. That's the meaning.
See, that's the consistent theme through all of Lovecraft shit too, but his stuff's entertaining.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a little bit of a difference here, though. I mean, meaningless of it all is because they're going to wake and eat us, not that there's just no point. We will eventually feed the great ancient ones when they awake and walk the earth again. Great Dagon be praised.
Yeah, or at least make new fishmen.
Hey, man, I'm not going
to come to ravage our women.
With that, you're messing with the wrong one. As long as they got a decent rack, we're go time.
Right. Well, they're fish, so I mean,
you potato. I mean, like,
you know,
Atlantis is real, and I'm going there. Shut up.
I was like, you know, it's like Jizzman's like ultimate goal, because the fish women, they just lay the eggs out, and he can go to town.
You know, I got a freakazoid costume, right? We can make this happen.
Oh man, we're terrible fucking people.
Yeah, I'll save you a seat next to the ice maker.
So.
Be all right.
Yeah. All right, folks. I think I'm probably gonna close down the show here, because otherwise I'm gonna just degenerate into like gibbering insensibility here on stream, and I don't really want you guys to see that. So
I tend to wear him out quickly.
And all that, but this has been good. This has been fun, mostly except for that bit in the middle where I depressed the shit out of everybody with existential questions.
No, I like it. It's good. It's fulfilling. It made me happy. Fuck you.
See, this is a good time. This is a good logical time to end the show at this point right here.
Come see me on the blast radius.
Yep. So we are. This is episode 98. Next week is episode 99, and the week after that is the 100th episode of Screaming into the Void. So we're gonna try and make a bit of a party of it.
Yes, Cal.
So
after
glad you're back.
Comes two, and then comes your friend from down the hall that you got a little freaky with in college, and that's three.
You don't fucking know me.
Yes. I told you I was hiding in the corner the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm still there now.
Nice.
Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. It should be a fun show. I'm reaching out to some people who haven't been on for a while. And by a while, I mean like 2 years, because as of I think next week, this show will have been on the air for 2 years. So
hey, the first time I ever streamed was this past Monday, a year ago.
Yeah. Cool beans. So
wait,
let's let people know where they can.
I feel depressed now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was doing shit with Amira for like a year before I started doing it on my own, but yeah, it's only been that long. It feels longer though sometimes, though, doesn't it? Like, you know,
well, you know what they say about internet time.
Shit or not. Yeah,
internet time
not a thing.
Like 2 years is like 3 weeks on Twitter, so you do the math from there.
Right. So let's go around the horn and let people know where they can find you, Cal.
Green-haired anti-liberal, YouTube, Rumble, Instagram, Twitter. I mentioned earlier, I stream every Thursday, Cooking the Books, where I read to you so you don't have to, from yours or my book list. so we can brush the dust off of the list that no one has time to get to.
Beautiful.
And yeah, that's me. And then you can find me on Sam's channel every Saturday when my life is less hectic. I try to be here at least. And then Dermy's channel, I produce for him. So Dermy Wormy every Friday, Ballbusters. And then Skinemax Saturdays on Vets Talkin', and Knife Hands every Thursday when I can make it too.
Nice. Also, very happy to have you back, despite the sarcastic comment that I made just a few minutes ago about that.
I'm happy to be back.
Yeah. Caucasian Sasquatch. While I realize you are also talking to your audience, because we're streaming to your channel as well, but there are people in my chat who may not know where to find you.
Yeah. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Screaming Into the Void. I am Caucasian Sasquatch. I occasionally interview YouTubers, not people that ask me to be interviewed, but people that choose to be interviewed by me, which is an interesting twist. You can't pay me. I produce for several channels. Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, we do The Blast Radius. That is me, Captain Curmudgeon, and Midlife Bro Logic. On Tuesdays, I do Lost with Ajot, which is me and Ajot's Corner, where we review different videos. The Blast Radius is sort of a satire news approach. Some people think it's funny. Some people just look at us like we're morons. Either way, I enjoy it because everybody looks like morons, and it's not just me being a moron. On this Thursday, the first Thursday of the month, I am doing YouTube Slave Class, where I bring YouTubers from various points of their career. People who have just started, people who are monetized and have been for the past couple of years, to come together and discuss things that are strictly YouTube. Let's see, what's the other one? There's another one. Oh yeah, and I do Sasquatch Shills, which is my own show, where I interview YouTubers around the concept of why they become a YouTuber and what they plan on doing with the brand concept or monetization or terms of service or AdSense or super chats or whatever, YouTube based. Beyond that, I pretty much sit at home all the time. Thanks.
Fair enough. Yeah, no problem. Thank you both for being here. And for my part, for those of you who don't know, although if you're not on Squatch's channel, then you're on one of the 3 locations that I stream to, so you should know who I am. But I am Samiel the Infamous of the internet.
He's already picked out a arch nemesis. Ballbuster is the system.
I saw that. I was trying to ignore that, dude. I'm trying not to laugh.
No.
Anyway, you can find me on Rumble and YouTube under Samiel the Infamous. You can find me on Twix under hentai_surprise. And later on tonight, you will find me over on Exiled Linus 2 here on YouTube, possibly being disemboweled in front of my family. Depends on how pissed she is about that thing from yesterday. And she did say we were all going to get ours tonight, so it should be interesting. You can also find me on the Renaissance Nerds channel on YouTube on Mondays for Mellow Mondays. And then back here for Abyssal Musings, which is a show I do with my friend and partner Lawrence Knight on Friday nights. And possibly coming up some appearances on some other shows. So we will get that information out in community tabs and posts and shit as it comes. Thank you all for being here. Wherever you be at, whether you commented or not, we do appreciate all of you. Thanks for putting up with our shit. And remember, it could always be worse. You could get jizzed on in 0 gravity. Have a great fucking night, guys.